country. I never really get personal with you guys like that. I just wanted to come on here today and just be personal with you guys and talk to you guys about what it feels like living in America for 10 years and coming from someone that went to middle school here, high school, and now I'm in college. This is my last year in college. Thank God. I cannot freaking wait to graduate. It feels really crazy. I cannot believe, like last month it was official, August the 25th 2008, me and my family decided to move to America. When we moved, it was horrible. Like for the first month, I was literally locking myself in the bathroom and crying. I mean, we're getting our visas and all that stuff, but I wasn't sure that it was going to be so fast and we were actually going to come to America. I thought, my dad worked in the American Embassy in Sierra Leone, so I thought like, okay, this is probably just a process for us to get our visas when we're 18 and then we're going to come to America. At that time, I was 12. So when it actually happened so fast, I was like, holy shit. Like, I'm really about to leave all my friends and come to America. And I don't think my family ever actually asked me how I felt about coming. I mean, I didn't have a choice, and I'm so grateful for my dad and my mother for giving me and my sister this opportunity, because it's a great opportunity. Like, people can die to come here, and it's nice, you know, that they made it so easy for me. It's nice that I was given the opportunity to come here. But I wanted to come on here as well to tell you guys the struggles I've had in the past 10 years and talk to you guys, if you're not in America or if you live in another country and you just want to know, you're curious about what it's like, you know, growing up in this country as a West African or anything, as an immigrant or anything. Like, it doesn't have to be West African. So I just wanted to share with you guys my perspective, my review of this great nation. So the first thing I noticed that was super duper different, the first thing was your neighborhood. Our drive home, my uncle picked us up from the airport and we were driving, and my first impression of America was, really? This is the America? Really? And I grew up in Fort Washington, in Maryland. If you guys are familiar with Maryland, you know, like Fort Washington is like bushes and stuff. Like at that time, now they're building, like now the National Harbor and everything is there. But when I first came, it was just like, whoa, like this is really the America. Like I was thinking America was gonna be like New York, like how you see it on TV, like the high buildings and all that. I mean, there are parts of America that is like that, but where we were living, I was like, wow, really? Might as well could have stayed in Africa. Like, what is this? Like bushes? Like, this is America? I did not know who my neighbors were until like 6 months to a year of living in my neighborhood. Like, and I still did not know who my neighbors were for like 7 years when I lived in that neighborhood. I did not know who they were. I only knew like 2 or 3 people. And that's crazy because in Africa, like, you know when they say like it takes a village to raise a child? Everybody raised me. Everybody in my neighborhood had a nickname for me. They used to call me Mama G, G for General, Yambasco, like Mama, like these. Everybody had a nickname for me because I literally was in people's houses all the time. My parents were working class people. They were always working. And so my mom would just like be like, oh, I'm going to work. Peace out. Like, yeah, bye. See you later. Like, and then I had to just figure it out for myself. I mean, there's always food in the house. So, you know, it wasn't like they just abandoned me, but they would just leave me with my neighbors. That's just how it is in Africa. But in America, it's totally different. You don't even know who your neighbors are until like winter time when people are shoving up their snow and you're just like, oh, you live here? Okay. It's so weird, right? Another thing is the food. The food here is completely different. Like, I was lucky enough that my mother and my father came with me in America together when I came, and I cannot imagine, like, if you're in America right now and your parents are not here, comment down below, like, what is your experience like? I was blessed enough to have my mother literally cooking every single time. Like, there was never a time that I came from school and there was no African food in the house, and she never cooked me American food and all that stuff. Even now she still cook African food. So I was blessed to have that experience, but the food is completely different. So if you're coming here, your parents are not coming with you, definitely I recommend finding a backup or finding African restaurants around you that can definitely do that for you. The neighborhood that I lived in Fort Washington, there were no African restaurants around. None. Like, none. None. My first experience with bullying was in 8th grade. That's when the light bulb in my head like was like, holy shit, this is America. Like, I was in class and I remember this boy. I remember his name was Devontae. Devontae, if you're out there and you're watching this video, hey, what's up? I'm doing so much better now in life. But I was sitting in class. I remember it was like an English class. It was like an English language class, and this African American guy came up to me, and then he was like, where are you from? And I was like, oh, Sierra Leone, West Africa. And he was like, you stink. You smell so bad. You stink. When I sat there and I just started bawling. Like, I couldn't hold my tears. And I took the chair that I was sitting on and I lifted it up, about to hit him. And my teacher saw it and she was like, no, stop. She called the office and security came, and then like they took me to the office, and then I sat down in the principal's office and she was like, what's wrong? And I was like, he said, like, I couldn't even like take the words out of my mouth, but I was like, he said that I stunk. And she looked at me and she was like, wow. Like, she didn't know what to say, because like, as a woman, that's one of the craziest things a man can say to you. Like, that made me feel like, wow. Like, for the rest of the year, I remember the rest of the school year, I was literally drenching my body in Victoria's Secret Bath and Body Works body spray. I had that insecurity, like, dang, maybe I stink. And it was very horrible for me. Anytime I saw him, like, I would feel like crying. That experience did not just make me a stronger person. When I recovered from it took me a while to recover from it. Like, it took me like 2 years. Like, I went into high school with that shit. It was horrible, and I felt less than. I felt like, dang, like, okay, because I'm not American, so that means I stink. But when I recovered from that, it made me not just a stronger person, it made me have the perspective to say, like, look, I really don't care what you have to say. Like, I became so nonchalant about everything in my life, and about what people would say about me. I did not care. Like, in high school, when I got bullied, I did not care. Like, it was just like, oh, you feel that way? Cool, have a great day. That was my experience. Of course, people will ask me, like, were you living in trees and huts and stuff, like some ignorant stuff. Growing up in Africa, I had a really, really good life. Like, I went to private schools. Like, my dad had a great job. My mom had a great job. My dad worked in the American Embassy. Like, that's a bomb-ass job, okay? So I had a great life. I never like struggled. I never went to bed hungry ever. Like, my parents provided. We were not rich, but we had exactly what we needed. As kids, we probably thought like, dang, we probably needed more, but no, we actually had exactly what we needed at that time. So we had a really good life in Africa. So no, we were not living in huts. No, we were not living on trees. No, we had a good life. Okay, I had a good life. I don't know about your experience, but I had a good life. There's some people actually right now that are living a better life than me in Africa, like amazing life than me, and I'm over here struggling, working paycheck to paycheck, you know? Like, so don't judge. Don't just think because someone come from a third world country so they're poor. No, they're not. Some of them are actually more richer than Trump. Like, some people in Africa actually have more money than Donald Trump. One of the richest people in the world live in Africa. So, you know, don't judge. School feels like jail. Like, when you enter the school, you cannot get out until the end of the class, until the end of your classes, and it's kind of horrible. In Africa, you can get out, you can go to the store and do whatever you want, and da-da-da-da. Like, it's nice because they actually trust you a little bit. But here, like, kids skip school so bad that as soon as you enter, they lock the door. Like, it feels like you're in jail. And I didn't like that. I just felt like, dang, I can't even have fresh air. Like, oh my god. Except gym class, they'll probably tell you to like go out and get fresh air or something, but I didn't like that at all. And also school buses, I got bullied in the buses so many times. Like, there were so many times that I wanted to fight somebody in the bus. And in Africa, like, but what I thought about was like, dang, like in Africa, kids don't have that facility. Like, people don't have that privilege to get picked up from school. I used to love, you know what I used to love, guys? Like, when the buses would come and stop, and the traffic from opposite direction would like stop for you. Oh my god. Like, even now when I'm driving and when I see it, I'm just like, wow, that's such a nice thing. You probably don't know how special that is if you've been in America for the rest of your life, but people that went to school in Africa would like would tell you that that is dope. That's nice. Like, kids are respected in this country, okay? Kids are respected here. We're respected. So in high school was so much more better. Most of the friends that I had in middle school actually went to my high school, so we were all in the same class, because when you're an immigrant, they keep you in like the same class. They keep you in like the same classes with your fellow immigrant, just so that you guys can get to know each other. It's called like the ESOL. I think it's called like the ESOL program. It's like the English as a second language program. You stay in that program until like you prove to them that, okay, yeah, you're eligible to take like regular classes, and then you go ahead and take regular classes. But I was in ESOL program for 2 years, 8th grade and then 9th grade. So in 10th grade I decided, like, man, I ain't trying to be friends with y'all forever. So I decided to like sign up for like AP classes. I started taking AP classes, and then I was enrolling like regular classes. Of course, you have to do well. The best way that I stood out in high school, or me and my sister stood out in high school. Me and my sister actually went to the same high school. She was in 11th grade and I went in to 9th grade. She was like 2 years ahead of me. So in high school in America, it's either you're doing really good or really bad. There's no in between. There's some kids that still graduate with a C average, but if you want to stand out, the best way you can do it is by having great grades. Great grades, good grades. That's the best way, and that's what me and my sister did. My sister graduated as the valedictorian of the school, literally the whole school, and she started in 10th grade, and she literally beat everybody else and became the valedictorian. We did the intellectual baccalaureate program. It's the IB program. It's like classes that you take for college. Basically the credits count for college. So we took those classes, and our GPAs were literally over 4.0. We used to have 4.3, 4.2, 4.5 GPAs. Like, it was crazy. That was the best way that we could, because when we realized that we were getting bullied in high school, and my sister too experienced bullying as well, we did not talk about this together like, hey, we about to like kick their asses. But we thought about it like independently, like, okay, how can we stand out? They have an honor roll assembly, so every quarter or every semester they have like honor roll assembly, and they recognize like the top students in the school. So when honor roll assembly comes and you're like the first person they call all the time, or like the first 5, people are gonna be like, who is her? Who is she? Like, who's that girl? That's how my sister made friends, and that's how people started becoming nice to her, because they would want to ask her how to do an assignment or stuff. And that's how I made friends, by doing good in school, and people used to like come up to me and ask me questions and stuff. Things will get so much better, I promise. Like, I thought like I hated my life in high school. I just felt like, dang, like I don't have the nice hair, the nice makeup, the nice car. Like, people had cars in 10th and 11th grade and 12th grade, and I did not. My uncle and my dad and my mother would never buy me a car in high school, but I wanted to have that life. I wanted to, you know, have that. And most of those people that were dropping it like it's hot in high school are now either in jail, pregnant with their 4th or 3rd child, have a crazy baby daddy, don't do much with their life, still work at McDonald's, like don't have any career, did not go to college, dropped out of college, like all type of stuff. So like don't try to feel like you need to fit in, because it's not worth it. Live your own life, live your own path. I promise you things will get better. You will look prettier. Like, I did not look like this in high school. My makeup was not looking this bomb in high school. Trust me, guys, I used to look a hot mess, but now look at this. Look at this beat. Who can tell me anything right now? Like, who? But so don't try to live people's life. Like, it's not worth it. It's not. Do your thing and live your life, because it's your life. Like, don't try to live anybody's life, because their life is already taken. Like, your life is not taken. It's yours. Like, deal with that. So yeah, now I'm in college and I'm about to graduate. I cannot freaking wait to get out of college. Like, I'm sick and tired of it. The other day I paid $4,000 for an education I'm not even sure about. It's crazy. And that's another thing. College here is really expensive. If you do not have scholarship, and if your parents do not save up money for you, if you're lucky enough, you probably will get a scholarship. But me, I'm not that smart enough to get a scholarship. I think I am smart enough. I'm just lazy. I just don't put too much work. I just don't put too much, you know, hard work in my stuff. God, I used to make a 4.5 GPA. Man, it's too late now. I already paid, but I literally just paid $4,000 for school, and I work full-time as well. I have a full-time job, so it's kind of crazy trying to manage both at the same time. But you do have to work. If you don't have money, if your parents do not pay for your school, you have to work. There's no way you're going to pay for school unless you choose to do one or the other. I choose to do both. That's why it's taking me a longer time to graduate, because I literally have to pay for every single credit that I take in college. It's $300 per credit. And if you're taking 3 credits, and if you're taking a 3-credit class, that's $900 plus tax per class. And right now I'm taking 6 classes. 6 classes, okay? 6. And thank God my college is in state, so it's cheaper. If I was out of state, I'd probably pay over $10,000 just for that one semester. So yeah, it's crazy. That's basically my experience with going to school in America. It's hard. It's not easy. American education is not easy. It's definitely easier than African education, because in Africa we don't have any calculators. We don't have any computers in school. We don't have none of that. We don't have good libraries. Our libraries are just packed with books. I've never even been to a library in Africa. Like, you just stay home and read. That's all you do. You read a whole textbook. Like, there was no resources and stuff. Maybe now they do, but back then I didn't have none of that. The only computer we had in our house, I remember my dad brought it, only open Microsoft Word. That's it. There was no internet on it, none of that. Yeah, so there's no way you can like even go online and look for anything. I started using the internet in America. So it's difficult, you know. The education here is much easier than Africa, of course, but you know, it's because we have more resources here than Africa. But yeah, that's my experience with going to school here in America. It's hard, and if you just keep your head up, you can do it. Just live your life, do you. Don't try to copy anybody else. Don't try to look like anybody else. Just do what you're supposed to do, what you're there for, and life will get better. I promise. You will look so much better. You think you look a mess right now? Trust me. You're going to look better. You're going to look bomber. Like, your ass is going to get fatter. Your boobs are going to get bigger. Like, your hair is going to be popping. You're going to be making more money. You're going to be able to afford more makeup. Like, yeah, like life is going to be so much better. So just keep your head up. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe down below. And comment down below your experience. If you have similar experiences with me, let me know down below. Comment down below and let me know.